Alright, it's been a while, but the topic of today's video is this, the H&R rear sway bar for the W203 class Mercedes. And in this specification, of course, you guys already know from my channel, it's the C55 AMG. Let's get into it. So if you take a look at what's inside the box, H&R always comes with these packets, kind of goes over the details of the bar, some stickers. Here we got one of the bushings, and down here you can see the other bushing. And basically this is a 19 millimeter rear sway bar with adjustable end links. So it's got two different holes. Closest one is a stiffer setting, and the further one is a softer setting. They built this to be paired with the front one, which is a 26 millimeter, which I already have. So this will do just fine. I've had the front one on for a few months now, well, more than a few months, I think, since I did the engine mounts. I did that at the same time. Gonna try to get this done relatively quick, and then get it on the road and see how it feels. So stay tuned. Alright, so the sway bar itself will give you guys a peek. So here it is, like I said, the two adjustable holes, and then here's the bushings. They look like some type of polyurethane or composite, and they have like kind of that Teflon kind of coating on the inside. So it shouldn't need to be greased really. I might throw a little bit on there just in case, but it seemed like they'd be fine without it. And then I was going to show you guys the part number just in case. So on the actual bar it shows here 33367. HA is always for rears on H&R, VA is for fronts. But the easier part number to find this is right here is 71392. Right there you see it specifies for the W203s. And this is also used for W209s, I believe, and just double check, it might be for other applications Mercedes wise too. So yeah, but this part number 71392, H&R, search anywhere, you should be able to find it. So alright, so got the wheel bolts loosened up, lug nuts or lug bolts, got the car in jack stands. So let's get under here. Might have a little bit of a hard time seeing just because of sunlight, but we'll see. So you can see right here the stock sway bar. There's the one of the bushing brackets, and then it mounts over here inside that little sway bar end link. Then you can see it goes above the exhaust, under the differential, or under kind of the front of the where the differential meets the flex disc. Goes around. There's the other bushing, and then same thing on the other side with the sway bar end link. So I don't think it shouldn't be too difficult to kind of wiggle out of here. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so we're in here right now. I got both the wheels off on both sides just so I have a little more light, and it might just make things easier. So I just got the bolts off, or yeah, bolts I guess, for the sway bar bushing bracket, and they are E12s. So they're not quite like a star pattern, it's actual E sockets. So they look like this. I got this set on Amazon for like $8, I think. So yeah, definitely comes in handy because Mercedes uses them kind of in weird spots, so they just come in handy. Sometimes you can get away with using a torque or a regular socket, but sometimes we end up stripping things. So E12s. And now I gotta go ahead and undo the sway bar end link from the sway bar on both sides. This one is a 16 millimeter, and on the back side it's a E13. Alright, so update, I just had to use a kind of thinner head socket wrench. So I was able to get that one off. Again, this is a 16 millimeter nut on this side, and then it's a It's actually a E13 head bolt. And just remember the orientation of this. This is the rear of the car, so you want to put the bolt head on the wheel side, so it kind of goes in backwards. And then just get that out of there. Got to do the other side, and then we can start trying to finagle this thing out of the way. All right, so second side is done. I got all the hardware out. So now we're just gonna figure out kind of the best way to wiggle this thing out of here. So I will figure that out, and I will update you with what method worked the best. So hold on a sec. All right, so here's the stock sway bar out. So the easiest way, I'll try to explain this, but it's kind of just a battle, no way around it. But the easiest way I found was to pull it out that way towards the passenger side. You basically, if it's positioned like this, you got to take the bushings off. It just makes it easier, and you want to kind of start trying to work it to go backwards and let that hump kind of sit flat on top of the exhaust. And then you basically just kind of puzzle it through, just figuring out which direction to work it. And eventually the last kind of step is you angle it towards the front of the car, and this last kind of 90-degree falls out. So it's not too difficult, but yeah, you just gotta, it's kind of like one of those metal kind of loop puzzles. You gotta kind of figure out which way it's gonna work and not try to hit anything on the way out. So yeah, that's it. And now time to get the new one, get the bushings on it and get it loaded up. So here we go. All right, so my phone's running out of battery, so I just wanted to make sure I did a comparison though before I got this back in there. I won't film kind of the install part just because it's the same, it's just reverse order. But yeah, standing up against each other, similar, but you can tell this one has kind of stronger angles, which I'm assuming helps stiffen it up, as well as its 2mm sticker. And honestly, this one feels like maybe just a tiny bit heavier than the stock one. So for the added rigidity that you're getting, yeah, you're not picking up much weight, which is cool. Okay, so things went a little south. Man, these stupid bushings. So the bushings that H&R supplied with the sway bar do not fit into the brackets for the W203. All the W203 brackets are the same. C55, C32, C230, doesn't matter. They're all the same. At least the AMGs and the sport models, I know that they're the same for these years. So this does not fit inside that bracket. I tried everything. This does not fit. So thank God I just happen to have some kind of miscellaneous energy suspension bushings, and I had a tiny one. It was about this size, but cylindrical obviously, and it just so happened to be pretty close to 19mm on the inside, and I had two of them. So I sliced them so that I could slip them over the bracket because they weren't pre-cut, and got them in there. So I'll show you guys what those look like. But man, if I didn't have those, yeah, I would have been sanding down a bushing, or I don't know. So thank goodness I had those. So right there, that is the bushing I ended up using, and literally it's like a perfect fit. Yeah, on the fly, MacGyvering. I could not have asked for a better fit to kind of make up for that. So yeah, I'm just tightening everything down right now, and then we'll be finished. But this took way longer than it was supposed to, just because of trying to figure out a freaking solution for that bushing. But yeah, getting the bar in was just a reverse of how I took it out. So I brought it in from this side and just looped it over. You just gotta play the puzzle basically to get it in. Yeah, it's scuffed up a little bit, but I really don't care. It's a sway bar. It's not like a freaking, yeah, beauty piece. So That is about it. I will show you once it's on the ground, and yeah, I'm tired again. All right, it took way longer than it should have because of the bushing situation, but there she is, all done, ready to test. All right, so welcome. You have just watched the H&R rear sway bar install, and now we're just going for a quick little test drive review. Happy to finally have it now, and yeah, I'm not disappointed at all with how it performs. So the biggest thing right off the bat, when I was driving home on the freeway after I had installed it, just taking a pretty long sweeping corner for one of the freeway ramps at a decent speed. I mean, the car didn't roll at all, like literally nothing. And you know, this car is not a slouch at handling stock, but you know, it definitely would have been rolling a little bit for the corner I was taking and the speed I was going. So that was really cool to see and feel. Definitely a noticeable improvement. When I had the front alone, like I said in the install portion of this video, it was still, you know, leaning towards understeer, just because it's nose heavy. I mean, it's a pretty light car with a big heavy V8 in the front of it. So it has a tendency to understeer stock. So a lot of times people will actually just get a rear sway bar and leave the stock front bar. For me, you know, my plan was to get the H&R front and get the Eibach rear, so it was still going to be stiffer than the front no matter what. And the H&R is still stiffer than the front, but it's closer to kind of like a plus stock setting. But I'm really happy with how this feels. And the other thing that I felt like I could add for really cheap is a rear strut tower bar, and that will kind of give the rear even more stiffness. And I can find those for cheap and just modify one, like a generic one, and modify it to fit this car. Oh, nice little Corvette over there. Yeah, this car is definitely quick now, and just handles really well. You know, I've done the work that you guys have seen on the videos. I've done the control arm bushings, replaced sway bar end links, the sway bars on both with the polyurethane bushings. And besides that, I mean, I've done tie rod ends as well. I've had an alignment, it's got new tires, all of that. But as far as the struts and springs and all that stuff, it's all stock still. And I don't know if the struts have ever been replaced, but I mean, they look pretty old, but there's no leaks or anything anywhere, and there's no, like, they don't sag or anything. So if these are stock struts, I mean, it's just a testament to the factory Bilsteins that they put on these cars, because this thing handles really good, and feels really good too. That's why I kind of started with those other suspension modifications before I chose to move to like, let's say a pair of coilovers or something just right off the bat. I wanted to enhance the stock setup as much as I could before I went to something drastic like that. So still something of interest for me down the road. You know, I would love to have a pair of coilovers to throw on, and I may eventually do that once it's time. Once I feel the stock suspension, you know, starting to give, you know, I'll either look into just replacing the struts, or you know, if I want to, then I'll go for a coilover setup. But I have other things that I want to do to this car before I get to that. Really good setup. Couldn't really ask for much more, especially for the price. Let me just park this real quick. But yeah, for the price, I mean, I got them, like I said, off of ProPartsUSA, and for the price, I think I paid, there was like a sale going at the time, I think I paid, like, pretty sure I got mine shipped for around $195, and I know from what else I could find online at that point, that was a really good deal. And then for the rear one, it was $173 shipped, and that was also with a discount code that was like 15% off or something like that. So check out ProPartsUSA. I'd never heard of them, but it's just from Google searching, I ended up finding them. They're in California. I'm in Washington, so shipping was really quick. Yeah, that is it for the H&R sway bar review. Hopefully you guys like this video. Again, thank you guys for joining in. It's a small group right now that's involved in the channel, but cool to have you guys around, and hope you guys are enjoying your summers wherever you are in the world, and thank you guys for tuning in.